Happy Monday here. Let me just jump on X. Make sure everyone can hear me over there. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Looks like they can. Let me drop a little GM. I like to drop a little GM in the chat for good morning, what we say over on X, in case some of you are listening on other YouTube or something like that. But market's just opening cold here. I don't know where you guys are. We actually got, believe it or not, snow on the top of the mountains here. Went from being freaking 100 degrees to a little bit of a cold spell, which is interesting this time of year, but we'll see what happens. I haven't checked the forecast. I rarely do, but anyway, NASDAQ opened up 1.1%, 1.16 right now. I'm not going to do my little picture-in-picture down here. See me down here. My lighting's just so crappy in this setup right here. I planned on doing this all from my office, which we have beautiful lighting. We're on a green of a country club, and we got a great mountain behind us. Beautiful, but I just have been lazy and been doing it mostly from my home office. And the lighting, the setup I've got here isn't great. I am going to get some new lighting and stuff, but I'm not going to do much picture-in-picture till I get that focused. I just don't like the quality of it. But anyway, so NASDAQ up 1.25, Dow up 0.39, S&P up 0.7. Kind of came, I think, with this. We had this tit for tat over the weekend. Friday, I think, we probably talked about it on the show. Had some drop missiles hit a commercial ship. U.S. responded with some airstrikes. The next day they hit another commercial ship, as well as sent some things towards Bahrain and some of our bases. U.S. responded, and then I think they called those off yesterday. But isn't it convenient how they announced them right after the market? They announced the strikes right after the market closed, literally minutes. And then last night, it's like this little weekend war BS, tit for tat, back and forth stuff. But anyway, crypto isn't. Let's take a look over and see how crypto's doing. Should be doing a little better, in my opinion, all things considered. And there is some big news about Saylor coming out today as well. But Bitcoin right now, look at the chart here. This is the daily chart. We're at 60,107, zeroed out for the day. So not too bad, considering we closed below the, you always hear me talking about the 52-week moving average. And we closed below that on the weekly and the daily, about 5 or 6 daily candles, and then the weekly as well. But so far holding strong, possibly on some news coming out from Saylor, which we'll dump into. But supposedly, we had this little weekend war, literally announced 15 minutes after the market closed. We had these counter strikes. Then literally last night, right before the market opened, we've got a deal. We're not going to go back and forth. So it's back and forth all weekend. So very, obviously very manipulated. But anyway, we're not looking horrible today. I mean, I do not like the fact that we closed below the 200-week moving average on the weekly chart. To me, that just shows weakness, but here we are nonetheless. Ethereum, 1581, same thing, flat for the day. XRP, $1.0581, almost $1.06, actually up 0.61%. Solana, which has been outperforming everything for the last week or so, sitting at $74.01, up 3%. So, hey, Mr. Heine from the Heine Coin community. Yeah, it says, morning, Ron. Hope you had a nice weekend. Yeah, I really stepped up my hiking over the weekend. In fact, I think for like over a week now, I stepped it up to over 3 miles, between 500 to 1,000 vertical feet. So, yeah, I was able to step that up. And I hit the gym in the morning as well. So I'm stepping that up, watch a little World Cup soccer while I'm at the gym, lift, do a little on the stationary bike, do some stretching, whatever. Yeah, so I'm stepping up both things. So hope you're doing well also. So glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me over on X. Check out the Heinecoin community. I believe it's heinecoin.com, if I'm not mistaken now. So great education. I was reading some of the stuff over the weekend. Great community. Yep. Health is wealth. Amen to that. Yeah. And I'm really starting to, I kind of have a theory. You're either getting fatter or you're getting fatter and lazier, you're getting healthier and more active. I don't think you don't really stay there, right? Kind of do, but then you just slowly start, getting down. So it felt good doing the 3 miles, pretty intense hiking every night now. I'm starting to feel it like kick in. It's hard when you get started because it's slow starting, but man, by the time you get done, it feels great. So yeah, definitely stepping up my exercise routine. Absolutely. So I had a little cooler last night on the 25th. We got stuck in a massive rainstorm, but it was really hot. So even the wind was blowing and it was kind of dried out our clothes. And we wear, when you hike a lot, you got to, especially if you're doing a lot of elevation and cold, you sweat, right? So been spending years dialing in our system for layering, right? And it has all our clothes dry out really, really quick. So yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so liking not bad. I wish crypto were doing a little bit better, to be honest. I do not like being below that 52-week moving average, but it is what it is. And then you look here, some things doing okay, a lot of green. Some stable coins are starting to take off, so Pepe, let's see where Pepe. I've been buying Pepe every day for like 2 weeks now, ever since it dropped below $1 billion market cap. We're still below $1 billion, but I'll take it. I've been buying. That's one of my favorite trades, like a major too. I just like the trading. I've been watching it for years. Definitely cashed out big time twice and building my position back. So hey, Scott, also from the Heinecoin community, does the host their morning show, as well as helps me out a lot. Often co-hosts for my Bitcoin GM Bitcoin show as well. So good to have you guys here. Also did Scott and Paige Howell, Joe Domains did an Ankita space last night. Ankita 32,000 up 21%. Had a kind of a brutal drop down to about 25,000. So good to see that. It's fun. I know Green Man has been sick, but check out Green Man. Let me see. It seemed to work yesterday. Sometimes it doesn't always work on X on my computer. Doesn't always work good, but it's at Green Man Reports or at Ankita. Either of those are you can check out. But I want to show you this website. He did kind of one of his more epic ones. If I can get this stupid thing to work. There it is. Let's see if his newest one shows up. I don't know why my laptop does not. I don't think X works very well. But let's see if he has this new one up or not. Yeah, Mad Max Ankita. I'll show it here, not show the. Let me see if I can make it full screen. Kind of a play on the Mad Max. I mean, the guy's content is incredible. Of course, making fun of Nikita Bear over there who runs X, or sometimes giving him his props. But this is the Ankita character. But anyway, just good stuff, man. So that's it. We create, at 32,000 market cap, the guy has a lot of big followers. He's viral. I mean, it's just good stuff. And he also does some news stuff and some bad crypto advice. But anyway, yeah, finally my X is working. But anyway, this is definitely something I want you definitely check out. And check out the token, Unkita, UNCKITA. Anyway, had a space last night and His content's good. Sometimes with these epics, sometimes they're just fun stuff, but it's all viral. He does it, pretty serious. Been doing it for 2 years. Check that out. Check out that token if you feel like messing around. But anyway, yeah, at least I like to show it on here, but sometimes it doesn't always show up. So I'm glad it did today. But anyway, check out at Green Man Reports or Unkita at Unkita, man. And thanks for running that space. That's not you and Paige. But anyway, here it is. Yeah, back a little, like I say, not killing it. But hey, the idea is to get good people holding it that believe in him, repost the stuff, and we go from there. But jump into the news. Fear and greed at 12. Not surprising. Yeah, Quantum 5652 says, GM, I'm shocked Pepe is under 1 billion market cap. Crazy. I was convinced get to 20 billion a year and a half ago. I was too, but I think the markets are down. I think we would have assumed Bitcoin would be higher too. But ask yourself this: when Bitcoin's at $1 million, where will Pepe be? I still think it could be 20 billion plus. So, 1 billion. It's been as high as what, 12 billion? Even recently, when we were back on this last run up to around 89 or whatever we got to recently on Bitcoin, it went up to over 3 billion. So I think it's easy to. I've been building just kind of a G-Gen position at 2x leverage. I just keep throwing in some profits from grid bots and copy trading and stuff like that. Yeah, to me, I like it better than Doge because it's fixed supply, to be honest with you. But anyway, fear and greed, 12. Extreme fear feels about right. I got some World Cup today. Brazil, Japan. Scott has made he predicts that Japan will beat Brazil. They're only about a minus 140 or something. So should be a good game. Of course, Brazil's been very powerhouse too as well. We'll see what happens. We'll maybe watch that while I'm at the gym this morning. Germany, Paraguay, Netherlands, Morocco. So yeah, we'll see. There should be some good games. I believe it's a knockout round. I believe there's only 16 teams left. I believe it's kind of like we call it the Sweet 16 here in the U.S. in college basketball. But yeah, those should all be decent games. Should all be. I see our guy. What is it? Stool president. What's his name? Anyway, the guy that's always terrified and always does the Bitcoin wrong. Dave Portnoy. Anyway, he said he's going to bet every game, and he put 25,000 on South Africa, and they lost. So, but anyway, I think for him it's just I think it's just engagement farming anyway. But we'll see how he does. He says he's going to hold his Bitcoin. We'll see. Senator Loomis came out very positive over the weekend. Crypto bill, Loomis says Europe has its framework. The UK has framework. The United States will have the Clarity Act. So we'll see. She's talking like it's ready to go. And it's got to pass when they come back from this 4th of July break. By the way, holiday this weekend. Coachmaster says smash that like button. Yeah, that'd be great, especially on YouTube. Could definitely use the interaction. Okay, no, Scott said we're down to 32 teams. Okay, so 32. That makes sense. Because I think there were 64 teams, right? Guess half of them are gone. So yeah, 32 teams. So now it's for all the marbles. They're going to play for all their words. So, yes, Canada, Sweet 16 for the first time. Oh yeah, that's who it was. Canada and South Africa. And Dave Portnoy put a $25,000 bet. They were like 3-1 underdogs. But yeah, so that I think it was close. So I think it was like in the last second or something. Oh yeah. It's going to be USA versus Bosnia Herzegovina, or whatever the name of their country is now. Yeah, that's going to be good. Looking forward to that, man. There's going to be a lot of hype. Like I say, it's like USA lost to I can't remember who they were playing, but it's like didn't even matter, right? didn't matter. So it's like you don't know how serious they were playing, but now you're done. It's one and done. So these tournament type things gets exciting. So yeah, I'm gonna be I've watched more World Cup this time than I ever have, more soccer in general, football. I'm even calling it football now. But anyway, so get this Clarity Act done. Could be a huge framework. They say there's billions, if not trillions, sitting on the sideline waiting to go. Okay, biggest news of the day is strategy. So strategy came out. We know we've seen all the FUD. Oh, Canada didn't look good yesterday. Yeah, I think they barely beat South Africa, but yeah, I don't know. Canada's been on a down. They've had some bad luck. They lost to the U.S. and freaking in the Olympics in hockey. Man, how does that happen? Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to some of these games now that every game matters. Like when you're in the knockout rounds, man, it's going to be good. People are going to be out there playing, flipping around on the field like no one's business. But yeah, I didn't think Portugal's kind of who I've been my dark horse, but I don't think they've looked good at all this tournament. We'll see. Of course, like I say, we don't know. People haven't been playing with they've been playing just to get by. But anyway, biggest news today, bar none, Michael Saylor. Look, we've heard all this FUD, all this stuff with it. By the way, let's check. Let's talk about the news, then we'll look at it. But Croatia versus Portugal. Yeah, I didn't even know who they're playing. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I like Portugal. I'll tell you, Portugal is one of my very, very favorite countries to visit. I love Portugal, man. I think it's maybe even a little better than Spain. But man, I think people are a little friendly there and stuff. But man, I really love Portugal. Been a big Ronaldo fan, But anyway, Portugal's a hidden gem place to visit. I'm sure Europeans all go there all the time, but for us Americans, we don't hear that much about Portugal. What a cool country. Okay, so he announced a new framework. So everyone's like, why are you buying Bitcoin? Why did you retire 2.2 billion in long-term bonds and blah, blah, blah? Oh, Croatia should beat them. I think, you know what? I agree, Quantum. The way they've been playing, I don't know. Now, they may change their game, but so far, I've watched all the Portugal games. None of them have I thought these guys are just going to kill it, but we'll see. We will see. Croatia, another beautiful country I'm looking to. I saw Miss Teen Crypto, Randy Hipper was in Croatia today, I noticed. So don't know what she's doing over there. Probably over there for a crypto conference, touring around a little bit. So she's a nice girl. So everyone's like, what should he do? All this FUD. He's going to jail. He's going to bankrupt it, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? The reality is, no, they're not going bankrupt. They're not going to get liquidated, but there are some legit concerns. They quit buying Bitcoin because they've been the biggest buyer of Bitcoin. Bitcoin could go down. Absolutely. They have to sell Bitcoin. It could cause a huge panic. We saw what happened last time. So interesting. We'll see what happens here, but a lot of thought, I'd say buy it, back off buying the Bitcoin, buying they probably made a few moves that couldn't be great. Big problem too is they've got this STRC. It pays 11.5%. But those are fixed money buyers coming in. It's down 25%. So it's not, you got to look at these kind of investors who are buying fixed money assets, like T-bills and stuff like that. They can't handle a 25% drawdown. That's just a Monday morning for us. That's not a big deal in crypto, but man, in fixed money assets, it's been bad. So anyway, lots of back and forth. Here's what they came out with. Okay. Strategy has increased its USD reserve to 2.55 billion, representing 17.4 months of dividend coverage. Okay. So they can pay for a year and a half without doing anything, because maybe doing nothing is the best thing. STR dividend rate has been increased 50 BPS to 12%. Okay, so they're going to pay it to 12%. Now, does a few things. First off, it increases, the risk reward, right? Which is probably why part of the reason it's been dumping. I don't know that it matters much because they're paying that 11.5% on $100 par. So it's like higher than percentage wise what it's trading against. It's higher anyway, but now they're jumping it a little. Hopefully that makes some more of the, that resets the risk reward for some of these people looking at it. Okay. They also established a repurchase program for up to $1 billion of digital credit securities like STRC and $1 billion of MSTR. This will create flexibility to creatively buy back securities during market dislocations. Repurchase will not be funded from the USD reserve. So they would have to sell Bitcoin or sell MSTR. Okay, and they also established a Bitcoin monetization program, which they may sell up to $1.25 billion of Bitcoin. And use it for dividends and interest or to repurchase. They came out and said they might sell up to $1.25 billion worth of Bitcoin. So basically, by the way, with $2.55 billion of the dollar reserve they have and the $1.25 billion, that they have the capacity for reserve building of $3.8 billion, representing 25.9 months. Okay. Strategy expects to remain disciplined in its use of MSTR issuance, particularly when the stock at or near 1x, so they're not going to go crazy is what they're saying. So I think this is all pretty good stuff, right? It is what it is. They don't want lawsuits. They don't want like regulators coming at them, the bad press. I think this addresses it pretty well. So we'll see what happens. Let's check back and see how the market's reacting to it. Okay, Stretch is up 6%, almost 78.75. So it was all the way down into the low 70s, mid 70s. So it has definitely instilled a little bit of confidence back. SpaceX, by the way, 157.13. It's getting ready to go on the NASDAQ 100, I think this week or next week. So that's not doing too bad. A little higher than where it came out at. I know it, theoretically it came out at 135, but I don't think too many people got much allocation there. So I think these are all good things. Now listen, we don't have Quantum says apparently he raised the yield on Stretch to 12%, effective yield around 15%. Yeah, exactly. So I think he did a little of everything, and I think we might see a lot more sitting on the sidelines. Now, they've been a big buyer, so not having that buyer, we might cause a correction. If they ever sell, it might cause a correction. But I think these are all smart moves, given their situation, not panicking, not doing anything, but they've I would feel comfortable buying it, especially at this point, because you can make another 20% when it goes back to par if it does. But yeah, I think this is all smart moves. I think it's a little overreacted anyway. Quantum says, let's be honest. So when he does Bitcoin is going to take a nasty. Of course it is. That's why they didn't do it. They just announced it. But here's the thing. I think what they're doing is kicking the can down the road. I think they'll do little or nothing as the bear market deepens. And then when it goes back up, that's when I think we'll see them selling it. I think we'll see it selling back when it goes up, and they'll continue to hold that reserve. So I think they're kicking the can down the road, which they can, because there's no margin call or anything like that. their things that are due aren't due for a couple of years, other than this interest payment. So if they can show the interest payment delayed 2 years, then I think they'll sell when it goes up. And if it's in a bear market, I think that's what they're teeing this up for. But if they have to, they'll sell, but they don't want to sell when it's going down. They want to take this that they bought at the dip. When it goes up, they'll take it and build back that reserve and buy back some. They can retire some of the STRC and keep that 2 year thing. So I think if they sell it into a bull market, it won't have the bad effect. I think that's what they're trying to do. Michael Novogratz came out and said, this is before the announcement. Where are we at here? He came out even before this announcement, and he said, the FUD against Michael Saylor is totally, completely false. Strategy is not going to be a forced seller of Bitcoin or Master anytime soon. They have plenty of cash to pay his dividend for years. The market doesn't understand he can just sit and do nothing and be fine. Don't believe the FUD. So that's Michael's take on it. Thailand advances their 1-to-1 bot-backed stablecoin. That's moving forward. I think all countries are going to do this if they're smart. Trump said now, it's so funny the timing on this stuff, Friday, 15 minutes after the market closed, we're retaliatory strikes. Went back and forth striking all weekend. Right before the market opened, we got a new deal. Now they're requesting a meeting. Whatever. Who cares? Watch what. Oil still under 70. Dubai grants their 50th crypto license to tribe tokenization. We've got, Quantum says when bear market though, bull market. I don't know. I don't think before next year, to be honest with you, the earliest. But who knows? Yeah, I'll just be happy if we get above the 52-week moving average. This guy, what an idiot. Supposedly billionaire Jerry Grantham, one of Wall Street's famous bubble watchers. Crypto is useless speculative. This will not end with a bang but a whimper. No store of value, he said. It dropped 50%. Well, what about silver dropping 40% in one day? Right? These arguments are weak. All it does, they don't use it for money. We don't use silver and gold for money. Right? It allows crooks to move money around without leaving a trace. Are you shitting me, dumbass? It leaves the easiest to trace it is. We know criminals prefer US dollars. This is absolutely traceable. No smart thief is using Bitcoin. This guy is just an old clown who doesn't know what he's talking about. Where does this crap even come from? 5 years ago, yeah, dude, why are you on TV? Anyway. I don't know what that was. It didn't save right. Okay, we got Thursday job reports now. June job reports, market closed Friday. Already talked about that. International settlement of bank warns stablecoins could fragment global finance. They also said it will strengthen the dollar. Yep, exactly. That's why I think the stablecoin, I think the Market Structure Act gets passed. Anthropic overtakes OpenAI as the biggest paid adoption. So they're overtaking that. Immersion is now 10 billion down on its holdings, but keep in mind that they're also getting millions of dollars a day in staking and interest. So I don't think they're feeling the pressure that Michael Saylor was paying interest with no yield. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let's take one more look at the markets. Appreciate everyone joining me. Hopefully you have a good week. I think we're still up. NASDAQ. Come on, you piece of crap. NASDAQ up 0.96, Dow 0.49, S&P 0.56, oil 70.19, and Bitcoin 59,911, Solana 73.59. So down a titch, but holding. We'll see what happens. Short week. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining me live. Feel free to come join me over at the GM Bitcoin Morning Show on X, Space on X. We'll have more voices come up, introduce yourself, tell us what you think.